Mike's a mic for you, but also I wanted to ask you if you would share some of your experience as well with social media, because I think there's a lot of knowledge out in the audience. So any, not just questions you have for our panel, but any experiences you can share about how you worked it to your advantage or maybe to your disadvantage. I have some questions, but is there anybody out there who would like to start? I can start there. One of my questions is, what do you look for when you're starting to find out, I want to see about a demonstration or a house party or what they're saying. Where do you start out? If I'm sitting there scanning the internet, where do you begin with this?
Well, most of the people that do our intelligence work for us have their own identities, aliases in the system. So they're friends with already the key players that we're looking at for the disruption of the parties. So they're monitoring them anyway. So oftentimes that's how they'll find it. They'll look at the key players and then they'll link to their friends or whatever, and that's how it works.
Chief Blair, is that what
we often look to combine traditional intelligence gathering. We often know who many of these games are. Some of it, I will tell you, was also a bit reactive. And I'll give you an example. We had a large crowd event. It was a neighborhood barbecue. Probably 2 rival gangs showed up at this thing and opened fire. And by the time we were finished, 2 young people were dead, and 25 people had been injured in the gunfire. It was a very, very significant event for us. We in a reactive mode. We then were sort of looking at people who we identified who were present at the place and learned that there was a great deal of information that had been readily available to us that would have determined for us that was likely to take place, and then we missed it. And so we've changed very much the way in which we gather intelligence now, and there is a great deal of monitoring that takes place. There are some tools, by the way. I think we sometimes make the mistake of approaching the social media environment in the same way we approach our own neighborhood. There are about 2 billion transactions, informational transactions a day going on social media. And it isn't reasonable to expect that the police will go and control that environment. That will send cops out there to read all the tweets to see what everybody's talking about. So there are some tools. Frankly, I think much of our work will be done by algorithms in the future rather than by police officers. There are ways in which we can mine the existing information in social media to identify some issues or prompts that will bring our attention to a particular event or a particular group's activity. There's also some tools that are now available to us, data analytics and social media. So it will give us some sense of what is sentiment on certain issues. And again, you can look for individual comments on the thing, but it's far more productive, quite frankly, to use other tools to determine that public sentiment, especially if you're in a large urban environment and a lot of these things going on. In a relatively smaller jurisdiction, it might be possible to just monitor what individuals are talking about. In a big city, you wouldn't go on.
And Chief Libo, you had used the term authenticate. I would think a lot of these guys are getting real smart. How do you know they aren't posting false information, trying to lead you to a demonstration that's not going to happen while they're, 5 miles away?
And it's funny you say that because they do that now. They try and lead us in the wrong direction. And we thought actually the event I was talking about, the 3rd of July, when they originally were saying they were going to Summerfest, and then they changed their plan to go to the fireworks. So we had to make a decision on are they trying to fool us here? Are they trying to send our resources to the wrong place? We made the right choice, thank God, and we put all the people on the hill for the fireworks. So we had made the wrong decision. We could have another black eye if they were like Summer.
It's also possible covertly to set people off the wrong direction purposely. And we've done that to disrupt certain mass gatherings or mass gatherings being planned. We've been able to intervene in that with other bits of information that have enabled us to sort of scatter around. So there are ways in which you can.
So you're doing it as well?
Yes, ma'am, we are.
You both use the term geofencing. Could you say more what that is?
Yeah, in most communication devices, there's an ability to geolocate where the source of that information or communication is coming from. Now, in our own analysis, only over 4% of people are actually leaving that on. The vast majority turn it off, but when you're dealing with several hundred thousand tweets about a particular event, 4% can give you a pretty good idea of where the people are. And you're able to, and as this chief has indicated, you're able to sort of fence in an area. So if you're looking at a particular hotspot around a particular event, you're able to determine and focus very specifically on the social media conversations that are taking place in that location.
Yes, and also, we can input the gang members' language in there. We can also put in their party, things like that, in the geofencing area. That will, good, that will sort it for us, which really helps us. It's almost like adding more people to your unit. And that's the future right there. That's going to be the way we monitor this stuff.
Are you surprised that gang members are spending that much time on social media?
You know, gang members are just like any other young kid. That's all they do. That's how they communicate. Everybody, no matter how poor you are, socioeconomically challenged you are, you still have a phone and you still have a Facebook account.
And I would share something, and hopefully it would be shared probably publicly, but one of the things you can do is simply using the picture of a pretty girl, make friends with them, and they'll tell you virtually everything they're doing in their life through that particular friend.
Can you call on those two guys in the back there from Chicago? They deal with more gangs in this country than anyone does. They Brody's, I had a Brody in friends, she's done the whole deal thing. I'd love to hear what they have to say about how the gangs in Chicago are starting to transition to this. Come on, guys, sit back there like you don't know anything. Come on.
That way.
I would